Ripple CLO Stuart Alderoty hints at SEC claims during XRP settlement conference. As stated in a court filing dated March 29, Ripple Labs and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission held a settlement conference in order to explore concerns and narrow down the disputes that they were involved in. In spite of assertions that the DAO hack report brought a great deal of clarification to the cryptocurrency industry, Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty, later blogged on X about the lack of transparency supplied by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. Stuart Alderoty, chief legal officer of Ripple, discusses the SEC's erroneous claims. Even after 7 years have passed since the publication of the DAO study, the chief legal officer of Ripple, Stuart Alderoty, has not been able to bring clarification to the cryptocurrency sector. As far as the SEC is concerned, the DAO report has brought a great deal of clarity to the cryptocurrency community with regard to regulatory and operational matters. According to him, however, something's broken because the Securities and Exchange Commission is still litigating 8 key cryptocurrency cases in federal court. Despite the fact that there's no sign of a resolution to the conflicts, the court proceedings continue to become increasingly convoluted. The tweet was made following a settlement meeting that took place on March 29 between Ripple Labs and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, and Stuart Alderoty, chief legal officer of the company, were reportedly seen in Manhattan, New York City, respectively. Eleanor Turret, writer for Fox Business, stated that the settlement conference could very well be the meeting that is originally planned to take place in April prior to the pretrial proceedings. Before trial, the settlement conference is a meeting between two parties who are at odds with one another in a lawsuit. The purpose of this meeting is to examine concerns and find a mutual resolution to disagreements or to narrow down ongoing disputes. Before the final pretrial meeting on April 16, Judge Analisa Torres requested that the heads of both parties' legal teams, as well as those of Ripple and the SEC, consider the possibility of reaching a settlement. In the meantime, the Securities and Exchange Commission is attempting to obtain a final judgment against Ripple. Disgorgement and interest on prejudgment interest, as well as civil fines totaling over $2 billion, are included in this. Permanent injunctions are also included. In response, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderoty criticized the Securities and Exchange Commission and stated that they would expose the regulator in a file that made on April 22. Business writer on Fox warns that XRP can put you out of business. Hold for a second. What on earth does this even mean? A prominent Fox Business reporter named Charles Gasparino recently warned XRP holders on the X social media network that, depending on how Ripple's scenario plays out, they might finish up badly off. What this means is that, depending on the outcome, you can wind up poorer than before investing in XRP. He was making a point about how things really are because the coin's linked corporation, Ripple, has been in a legal battle with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for years and is still far from over. A bleak diagnosis has been rendered by Gasparino. The Fox Business host claims that the SEC would go to whatever lengths to overturn District Judge Analisa Torres' ruling in the Ripple case. According to reports, the judge found that Ripple sales to institutions broke federal security laws. The San Francisco-based business, on the other hand, won because secondary XRP sales weren't considered investment contracts. For a short period of time, the price of one XRP coin went above $8 due to the favorable ruling that happened in July. However, it quickly relinquished the progress it had achieved. The Ripple-affiliated cryptocurrency was trading at 62 cents as of this publishing. The SEC is actively trying to classify Ethereum as a security, and Bitcoin has not been able to regain its post-ruling high despite leading a wider market rally. The SEC has also signaled its intention to appeal the Ripple case verdict. According to Gasparino, XRP will not be immune to this attack. The SEC's most recent motion states that Ripple faces fines and penalties totaling over $2 billion in addition to being obligated to appeal the case. In its most recent report, Forbes referred to 19 other blockchains, including the XRP, Ledger XRP, and Ledger XRP, as zombie chains. The fact that XRPL and the other blockchains are not working properly is the basis for this classification. The report claims that various networks, particularly XRPL, need greater widespread use, despite the fact that they have been part of the blockchain ecosystem for over a decade. The fact that there are more than 5 million wallets on the network shows that users are still interested in it but Forbes is concentrating on XRPL specifically because of this. Forbes produced data that highlights how XRP failed to significantly impact global money flows, casting doubt on the technology's viability in the sector of cross-border payment services. Forbes claims the network can't hold its own against SWIFT, the current market leader in cross-border bank transfers. Even though Ripple has tried with its EDO product, which processes large amounts of remittances, Forbes is still wary about the efficacy of XRL placing current systems. A crucial role that XRPL plays in streamlining payment processes is often disregarded. Despite having a valuation of more than $36 billion, Forbes continues to attack XRPL for what it perceives as a lack of practicality. The article claims that the XRP ledger's low transaction costs reflect the cryptocurrency's low volume of transactions, with a total of $583,000 due in 2023. Yeah. The fact that XRPL's low fees are meant to discourage spam transactions rather than serve as a substantial source of revenue is ignored by Forbes, who views this as proof of the network's poor performance. Several well-known figures in the Bitcoin world have spoken out against the essay after reading it. Some have claimed that Forbes' analysis is too general and ignores the role that institutions have played in making international money transfers easy and cheap. Forbes also dismissed Ripple's recent achievements, which include strategic acquisitions and trial programs for digital currencies BCs issued by central banks, as insufficient. It is because of this perspective that debates have emerged about the relevance of transaction fees as an indicator of success and the criteria used to assess the usefulness of blockchain technology. In Forbes' assessment, the only victors are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Forbes looks at the practicality of a blockchain technology from a broader viewpoint than only XRPL naming 20 networks that it deems useless. This ranking is completely at odds with the publication's position, which claims that only Bitcoin and Ethereum have made significant contributions to the blockchain space. Because of these categorization standards, questions emerge about how to measure blockchain technology's efficacy and about the trajectory of digital currencies and financial institutions going forward. Others with insider information have cast doubt on the essay's conclusions. Is there someone who thinks blockchain technology should be seen from a broader angle? Many people have different opinions about the topic. Both the ever-changing landscape of digital finance and the never-ending quest for new business models for conventional banks are discussed in this roundtable. There may be a whole reevaluation of what it means to be successful and useful in the blockchain world as the conversation continues. Charles Gasparino, a correspondent for Fox Business, has warned anyone who owns an XRP certificate. According to Ripple's worth could be affected by the ongoing legal issues they are currently facing. According to Gasparino's article on the X Social Network, XRP investors could lose money. His knowledge of this comes from Ripple's ambiguous triumph in their legal battle against the SEC. A lot of people have been looking at Ripple and its token XRP's relationship for a while now. Everything here is centered on the company's ongoing legal battle with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Since Ripple has been unable to resolve the legal issues it has encountered in the sector, Gasparino has a pessimistic outlook on the company's future. Concerns persist despite the fact that the specific legal matters influencing the XRP market's performance remain unclear. A major shift occurred in the course of the legal dispute with United States District Judge Analisa Torres ruling. Her research led her to the conclusion that Ripple sales to institutions were illegal. That's all for now.